the Faithful Hall of Fame, Sarah. This is Sarah. Sarah was Abraham's wife. One day, as Abraham sat near the entrance of his tent, God appeared to him. Abraham looked up and 3 men stood before him. God promised Abraham that he and Sarah would someday have a son. In fact, God promised Abraham that he would have many children. Even more than the stars in the sky. Now, Sarah was very old when God made this promise. When she heard that God promised to give her a child, she laughed. The messenger of God stopped Sarah. He asked, "Is anything too hard for the Lord?" Sarah chose to trust God, and she became pregnant and she gave birth to a son. The son's name was Isaac. God's promises came true for Abraham and Sarah. Abraham became the father of many nations, and from his child came children, and from their children, more children, until Abraham's descendants were truly more numerous than the stars in the sky. Abraham and Sarah trusted God for the promise and believed that God was faithful.
Okay, so we are talking today about Sarah, who is a total legend in the Bible. Now, one of the things we can learn about this story is about the timing of God. Now, I don't know about you, and I don't know how many moments you've looked back on and thought the timing of that was terrible. Maybe you're in a football match and you're playing a scenario out in your head where you pass this way or you score that way, and you look back and you were like, that did not go to plan. Or maybe you're cooking and you're flipping a pancake and you're thinking it's going to go one way, and the reality is it makes a total mess. Maybe you say something in a public setting in front of your mates or in class, and you just look back and you think, terrible timing. Well, Sarah has sort of something similar. Now, she prays with her husband Abraham to God, and basically she's praying for a child, a baby. And I guess when she prays for this baby, she's expecting God to give her the baby relatively soon, like maybe in her 20s or 30s or 40s. The reality is, God's timing, when she looks back, was probably not what she expected at all. I mean, she was old, like seriously granny old, when God gives her this child. And so what we can see from this story is that we can pray to God, and we should. Like Sarah is crying out to God, which is one of the things that makes her a total legend. She takes the stuff that matters to her, and she knows that it matters to God too, and she prays to God for stuff. So we should learn that as well, that when things matter to us, maybe for you it's not having a baby, but getting into a football team, doing well at school, maybe you're struggling with a subject or a friend or a teacher or a sibling, and we should take that stuff to God. Like what matters to us matters to God, and Sarah and Abraham knew that. And as Sarah waited, she was faithful, and she had to wait long time. It wasn't like 1 year or 2 years. The timing that she had planned, I guess, in her mind, and God's timing before he answers and gives her a yes to the prayer that she prays, is long, which is one of the things that makes her this absolute legend. But that her timing and God's timing was different, but that God's timing, not her timing, was the perfect timing, because God's timing is always perfect, even when it's different from ours.
My God is so big and so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. In the beginning, God made everything. God simply spoke and the world came to be. He sent a flood. learn to live here on the earth. He healed the sick, he made blind men see.